in the previous few sessions, we have discussed about the amplitude modulation. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss the another version of a modulation, another type of the modulation, which is known as a frequency modulation. Sometimes it is also known as a angle modulation. So, if we see what is the drawback of a amplitude modulation, then first of all, already you know that in amplitude modulation, the power dissipation is very large and the wastage of the power is very high. So, the first disadvantage, if we say the wastage of power is there, and that is almost a 2/3 power is the wastage, because we know that the 2/3 power is carried by the carrier wave and it doesn't have any kind of a information. So this is one of the most drawback of your amplitude modulation. Then the amplitude modulation is a kind of a noisy system. It is a noisy system. Means when this amplitude modulated wave is propagating into the air, then in the air there is lot of electromagnetic radiation is there. This electromagnetic radiation will ride over on this modulated wave, and when you receive this, then you can have a noisy information, because whenever the noise is ride over, here suppose if we have a kind of a modulated wave, and if the noise will be ride over like this, if the noise is ride, then it is changing the amplitude of your wave. So in a receiver, we have a AM detector which will give a response to the change in the amplitude of the signal. So whenever the noise will be there, then suddenly your output voltage of the detector is increasing. So you will find a kind of a noise in a information. So it is a noisy system. Then if you look at this third disadvantage, then in a amplitude modulation, the bandwidth is limited. Here we have a 2 FM, and for the AM transmitter, this bandwidth should not be a more than 10 kilohertz. It means you can transmit the information up to a maximum frequency of a 5 kilohertz. Here you cannot transmit the frequency which is greater than the 5 kilohertz. But we know that our information will be lying between a 20 hertz to a 20 kilohertz. So whatever the information is between the 5 kilohertz to 15 kilohertz is not going to be transmitted. As a result, the quality of the sound is going to be a poor. So we can say that in AM, it is not a hi-fi system. It is not a hi-fi system. Correct? And why it is not a hi-fi system? Because we are not able to receive all the frequency from the transmitter. So the quality of the sound is going to be a poor. So these are the major drawback of a amplitude modulation. Now when we learn the frequency modulation, then we will see that what will be the power of the FM wave, what will be the bandwidth, and how the noise is going to be reduced in the FM wave. Correct? So now let us see what is the frequency modulation. Frequency modulation is also known as the angle modulation. Why it is known as the angle modulation? That even we write a expression for a carrier wave, then the Vc is written as Vc sine omega ct plus phi. Already you know that Vc is the amplitude of a carrier wave, omega c is the frequency of the carrier wave. Now basically in a FM, we are changing this carrier frequency. And when you change the carrier frequency, then this total angle of your signal is also going to be changed. Here this angle is written as a angle, means it is a theta we can write as omega ct plus phi. So when you are changing the frequency, the angle is also going to change. If you change the phase of the signal, phase of the carrier wave, then also your angle is also going to change. So in this way, we can say either by changing the frequency or by changing a phase of the carrier wave, the total angle, carrier angle is going to change, and that's why it is known as a angle modulation. So basically, we have a angle modulation, and angle modulation you can have a two other type of the modulation, that is known as a frequency modulation, and another is known as a phase modulation. So in a frequency modulation, we are keeping a amplitude constant. This is a constant. Then the phase of the signal is also remain to constant. Only the fc is going to be changed. Means the carrier frequency is going to change. And in a phase modulation, that the amplitude is also remaining constant, then the frequency is remaining constant, but the phase is going to change. So ultimately, either we change the frequency or we change the phase, ultimately the carrier angle is going to change, and therefore this frequency modulation is also known as the angle modulation. So basically, if you see, the difference between the frequency modulation and the phase modulation is not too large. If you see the mathematics of both the modulation, it is almost same, but there is some slight difference between both the modulation is there, and it has some advantage and disadvantage also that we will discuss later on at the end of the frequency modulation. Correct? Now let us see what is a frequency modulation and what is the theory of that one. So I already mentioned that in a frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier wave is changing according to a modulating frequency. So here is my modulating wave. Say modulating signal. Already you know, we can write as Vm is equal to Vm sin omega mt. Correct? Then we write a carrier wave. Carrier signal is written as a Vc is equal to Vc sin omega ct plus phi. And remember, omega ct plus phi, that is known as the carrier angle. Here, this is called a carrier angle. Now in frequency modulation, what will happen? That the frequency here, this frequency omega c is going to change. How it is going to change? It will be changed as the modulating signal is going to change. Means the instantaneous value of the modulating signal. What is the instantaneous value of the modulating signal? That is Vm. How this Vm is going to vary according to the carrier frequency is also going to change. So instantaneous value will increase, the frequency will also increase. If it is decreased, then the carrier frequency will also decrease. And this, according to this modulating signal, the frequency of the carrier wave is going to vary. So here, when the carrier frequency is going to be varied, here the fc is going to be changed as Vm is changing. same time, here the VC and the phi is going to remain constant. So this is the process for a frequency modulation. And if we see this waveform, here if we see this waveform, then this waveform, in this waveform, you will find a change in the frequency. So what kind of the waveform will be there, that you can say here. You can see that this is my audio signal. Audio signal that is representing what? It is a audio signal is nothing but it is my modulating signal. Then this is your carrier wave. Carrier wave is written as Vc sin omega Ct plus phi. And when this modulating signal is going to be superposed on this carrier wave and it change the frequency, then here whatever the wave is generated, it is known as a FM wave. So here in this FM wave, you can see that initially this frequency is go on increasing. Here if you go in this direction, then the frequencies go on increasing. At particular point, we have a maximum frequency. And then the frequencies go on decreasing. Again at particular point, we have a minimum frequency. Then as my modulating signal is increasing, then again the frequency is increasing, and whenever my modulating signal is maximum, at the same time we have a maximum carrier frequency. So in this way, the carrier frequency is going to be increased or decreased as my modulating signal is going to change. So this is your frequency modulated wave. Now what will be the maximum frequency and what will be the minimum frequency? So that we can write in this way. So here if I want to write what is the instantaneous frequency, means in a frequency modulation the frequencies go on changing with the time t. So at any time t, what is the new frequency of the carrier wave? That we can write as that original frequency, that is the carrier frequency fc, plus this carrier frequency is going to change according to my modulating wave. So here we can write as k into Vm. What is k? K is known as a proportionality factor. It is known as the proportionality factor, or it is also known as a deviation constant. It is known as the deviation constant. Frequency deviation constant. Correct? So in this way you can calculate what will be the new frequency of the carrier wave. Correct? Now here if we write, then this will be fc plus k. What is my Vm? It is a Vm sin omega and t. It is Vm sin omega and t. So instantaneous frequency is going to change according to the function of a sin omega and t. Correct? So if I will draw a graph frequency against a time t, then it will be like this. This is the time axis, and here you can have a instantaneous frequency. Correct? Now instantaneous frequency fc is there. So here we can write this is FC. Then it is going to change according to a sine omega mt. So the function of the sine omega mt is going to be vary in this way. Correct? So here you can see at this point we have a maximum frequency, and at this point we have a minimum frequency. Correct? Or this F maximum is nothing but what will be there? Fc plus kvm sine omega mt. This is Fc plus kvm sine omega mt. And here this will be a Fc minus kvm sine omega nt. Okay? Means the carrier wave is changing between the F maximum to F minimum. So here how to calculate the maximum frequency? So here in this expression you can see that instantaneous frequency is changing according to sine omega nt. So whenever we have a maximum value of the sine omega nt, you will get a maximum frequency, and whenever sine omega nt is a minimum, you will get a minimum frequency. So here when we write that the sine omega nt is equal to a plus 1, because the maximum value is this, so here you can have a F maximum, and that will be equal to Fc plus kvm. Correct? And here when we write sine omega nt is equal to a minus 1, that is the minimum value. Here at this point sine omega nt is minus 1, and at this one it is a plus 1, this is a minus 1. So I can calculate the minimum frequency as F minimum is equal to Fc minus kvm. Correct? So here you will find the difference between the maximum frequency and the carrier frequency, and that will give you a deviation in the frequency. So here if you write what is the deviation? So deviation in frequency. Deviation means the change in the frequency is a maximum minus Fc, and that is the k into Vm. Correct? And okay. So here F maximum minus Fc is known as a frequency deviation, and it is denoted as a delta F, or it is denoted as delta F, and this is equal to k into Vf. Here if I will take this, and in this case here if you write a Fc minus F minimum, then also it comes out to be a k in Vf. And this difference of these two frequency is again, it is known as the deviation in the frequency. So what is the deviation in the frequency? Delta F is equal to delta F, that is k into Vm. So the delta is known as a deviation in a frequency. Correct? So here whatever the expression for a instantaneous frequency is there, in this instantaneous frequency, if I will write k into Vm equal to a delta, then the Fi will be written as Fi is written as a Fc plus delta F into sine omega and t. Fc is equal to a Fc plus delta F sine omega and t. So whatever the new frequency is there, and if you want to calculate that, then here we can use this formula. Remember. And in this case you can see that the sine omega and t term is there. So the whatever the change in the frequency is taking place, it will be changed according to a sine function. So once you have calculated what is the new frequency, then you can write a mathematical expression for a modulated wave. So here let us see how we can represent. This is my FM wave. So what is the mathematical expression of a FM wave? How to write the expression for this? So let us see. Now remember, now what we want to do? We want to write the expression for a frequency modulated wave. Now I already mentioned that in a frequency modulated wave, whenever the frequency is changing, means the total angle, that is known as the carrier angle. Carrier angle is also changing. So the here for a FM wave, we can write that V is equal to Vc. Now remember, during this modulation, amplitude is remaining constant, so Vc will be remain as it is. But whatever the angle is there, this angle is going to be a different. So we have to calculate. So theta t is my new angle, and if we can calculate what is the new angle, then we can write the expression for a frequency modulated wave. So how to calculate this angle? Let us see. That for that we should know what is the relation between the frequency and the phase. Remember, if the angle is given to you, how will you calculate the frequency? Or if the frequency is given to you, then how to calculate the angle? So here in an AC signal, if you see the basic formula for this angle, here in an AC signal, already you know that the theta is given as a omega t plus phi. Correct? Now if I will take the differentiation of this angle with respect to time t, means the rate of change of the angle with time t, then the differentiation of omega t, omega is a constant quantity, so it will remain as it is, and the differentiation of the t will be a 1, and again the phi is a constant, so it is a 0. So try to understand that whenever we take the differentiation of an angle, that will give you the angular frequency. Now here the same expression I can write as d theta is equal to omega into dt. Then if I will take the integration on both the sides, then the integration of d theta will be a theta, and here this is the integration of omega dt. Correct? Means that if you want to calculate the angle, then if you take the integration of the frequency, that will give you the angle. Here we have calculated what is my new frequency. Remember. So if I will take the integration of this new frequency, if I will take the integration of this instantaneous frequency, that will give you what is the new angle of a carrier wave. So this is a basic thing to understand. So directly we are not calculating this. We are calculating the frequency, and then the frequency, we take the integration of the frequency, will give you the angle. And therefore, here the new angle we can write as new angle of Fm we can define as a theta t is equal to a integration of omega I dt. Means the integration of a instantaneous frequency. That will give you this angle. So again we write a theta t is equal to integration of omega I dt. Now what is omega I? That we can write 2 pi and fi, that is, what is the fi? Already we have calculated, it is fc plus delta sine omega mt into dt. And here the integration of a fc will be fc into t. So this will be a 2 pi fc into t plus now the integration of sine omega mt will be a cos omega mt divided by omega. So this term will come out to be a delta f by omega m, and this is cos omega mt. And no, the 2 pi is also there. This is 2 pi delta f by omega m into cos omega mt. Correct? So this new angle is written as 2 pi fct, means we can write it is omega ct. Then here we have 2 pi delta f. Then this we can write as 2 pi fm. So cos omega mt. And the 2 pi will be cancelled. So my new angle is a omega ct plus delta f by fm cos omega mt. Correct? So we have calculated that how this angle is changing by changing the frequency. Now we insert this value here. We insert this value theta t in this expression. Then that will give you the expression for the Fn wave. So the Fn wave is written as a V is equal to Vc. Then here we have a sine, then the theta t. So this is equal to a Vc sine omega ct plus delta f by fm into cos omega mt. So the frequency modulated wave means this kind of the wave, mathematically it is represented by this formula. And here we can define one more term. So what is that? Modulation index. So what is the modulation index? MF is defined as a delta f by fn. And therefore this expression we can write as V is equal to Vc sine omega ct plus mf into cos omega mt. So finally you can say the frequency modulated wave we can represent with this formula, where we have defined a frequency modulation index, and that is a ratio of what is the delta f? Delta f is known as the maximum frequency deviation here. Okay. that remember the delta f is known as maximum, sometimes it is also known as the peak frequency deviation. And what is Fm? That is the modulating frequency. And therefore, Mf we can write as a maximum frequency deviation divided by a modulating frequency. Correct? So this is about a theory of a frequency modulated wave. So what we have to learn that in this theory we have defined a three term, that is delta f. Maximum deviation means the how much frequency is increased and decreased from the carrier frequency, that is called a maximum deviation. And then we have defined this modulation index. Here the modulation index, what is important? That modulation index is, it can be greater than 1. In amplitude modulation we have learned that the modulation index should not be greater than 1, otherwise the signal is going to be distorted. But in frequency modulation you can have modulation index Mf equal to 1, 2, 5 or 10. It can be anything because it is depending on what? Deviation in the modulating frequency. So as the modulation index will be large, that later on we will see, as the modulation index will be large, then the more and more information is carried by the modulated wave. So what is the first example? Find the carrier and the modulation index and the maximum deviation of Fm represented by the voltage equation V is equal to 12 sin 6 into 10 raised to 6 t plus 5 cos 1250 t. Correct? So here first of all, what is given to you? That equation is there, that is V is equal to a 12 into sine 6 10 raised to 6t plus 5 cos 1250t. Correct? This expression is given to you. What we have to find out? What is the modulation index? That is the frequency modulation index. And maximum deviation, that is a delta f, represented by this voltage equation. Also you have to find out what is the carrier frequency and what is the modulating frequency. Correct? So here this expression you can compare with this. So V is equal to Vc sine omega ct plus Mf into a cos omega nt. This is a standard expression for a FM wave. Correct? So from this we can write here. If you compare this, then what is Vc? Vc is going to be a 12 volt. So here the Vc, okay, we can say the Vc is equal to 12 volt. Then if you compare this with the omega c, that will give you the carrier frequency. So omega c is equal to 6 into 10 raised to 6. And then you can calculate the carrier frequency 6 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 2 pi, and that will give you the carrier frequency. This carrier frequency will comes out to be 95.5 megahertz. Then here if we compare a omega m, then it will give you a modulating frequency. So omega m is equal to a 1250 and the modulating frequency is 1250 divided by 2 pi. So this will comes out to be a 199 hertz. So we have calculated what is the carrier frequency, what is the modulating frequency. And if you compare a MF with this, then the modulation index MF comes out to be a 5. So once you have this information, now you can calculate what is the deviation. Correct? So what is the expression for the deviation? Deviation is given as delta F is a, what is the relation between a delta F and the voltage? So delta F is given as, just we have defined modulation index. Modulation index is equal to delta F by Fm. So the delta F is equal to Mf multiplied by Fm, and Mf is 5, Fm is a 199. So the delta F almost comes out to be a 1 kilohertz. Correct? You can say it is 995 hertz should be there. So we have calculated this deviation. Now what is the second part? Then what power will this FM wave dissipate in a 10 ohm resistance? So we have to calculate the power. The power will be written as that the power is written as a Vc square by R. What is my Vc? It is a 12. But we have to calculate the power in a RMS. 12 is a peak value. So in a RMS value, we have to divide by root 2 square, and the value of the resistance is given, and that is the 10 ohm. So 12 divided by root 2 will give you 12 divided by root 2 whole square divided by 10 will give you the power dissipation in a 10 ohm resistance, and that will comes out to be a 7.2 watt. Correct? Okay. Now let us see another example. So first of all, read this. In a FM system, when the audio frequency is 500 Hz, so my FM is a 500 Hz, and the audio frequency voltage is 2.4 volt. So here the VM1 is given a 2.4 volt. Okay. If the audio frequency voltage is now increased to 7.2 volt, means the VM2 is become a 7.2 volt. What is the new deviation? So we have to calculate what is the new deviation. Correct? Or you can say F2. Here we write this is a delta F1. So this is the second case. If the A voltage is further increased to 10 volt, means the VM3 become a 10 volt. While A dropped to a 200 Hz, the frequency is dropping to a 200 Hz. What is the deviation? So DF3 is there. And find the modulation index in each case. So here I have to find out what is the modulation index. Here also I have to find out what is the modulation index. Here also we have to find out what is the modulation index. So the three different cases are given in this example. So let us see in the first case. In the first case, what we will do? Case 1. Case 1, here the delta F is given 4.8 kilohertz. Correct? So from that we will find out a proportionality factor. that delta F is there. So how much it is? It is a 4.8 kilohertz. Now the proportionality factor K is defined as a delta F by Fm. Correct? Already you know this expression here. If you remember this, then the delta F is equal to, we have written that it is a K into Vm. Correct? And from this we calculate what is the K? K is equal to delta F by Vm. And in this case, it is a 4.8 kilohertz. What is the Vm? It is given a 2.4 volt. So delta F comes out to be a 2 kilohertz per volt. Here you should remember what is the unit of a proportionality factor. It is a hertz per volt, because delta F, this is the representing frequency divided by voltage. So the K is comes out to be 2 kilohertz per volt. Okay. Now in the first case, first of all we will find out what is the modulation index. So the modulation index we have calculated delta F1 by Fm. And what is my delta F1? It is a 4.8 kilohertz and the Fm is given a 500 hertz. So in the first case you can calculate the modulation index in this way, and this will comes out to be a round about a 9.6. So here you can see the modulation index is greater than 1. Okay, now in a second case. In second case, we have to find out the delta F as well as the Mn. So how will you calculate the delta F? Delta F formula is this, K into Vm. So delta F2 is equal to K into Vm2. Now the K is already constant, that is the 2 kilohertz per volt, and the Vm2, in second case, the Vm2 is given a 7.2 volt. And this will comes out to be a 14.4 kilohertz. And the modulation index, if we calculate that delta F2 by Fm, so delta F2 is 14.4 kilohertz divided by Fm. And in this case, the modulating frequency is not changing, so it is a 500 hertz. And if you calculate this, this will comes out to be a 28.8. 28.8. Now, in a case 3, again we have to calculate what is the deviation. So delta F3 will be equal to K into Vm3. K is a 2 kilohertz and Vm3, that is given a 10. So here we have 20 kilohertz. That is the deviation of the frequency is 20 kilohertz. Then what is the modulation index? So MF3 is delta F3 by a Fm. This is a 20 kilohertz divided by, now the audio frequency is reduced to a 200 hertz. Correct? So 20 kilo divided by 200, and this will comes out to be a 100. Correct? So in this way, by using a definition of a frequency deviation and the modulation index, you can solve this numerical. Now what is important? Here the important thing is that whatever the change in the frequency is taking place it is not depending on the modulating frequency. So here the modulating frequency is either a 500 Hz or 200 Hz, then it is independent of that one. The modulation index is depending on what is my modulating frequency. Correct? So in the next session, we will see that how much sideband frequency are going to be produced in a FM wave and what is the importance of the sideband frequency.